Hello everybody, welcome back to Major Minor.
Hi everyone!
We're in a forest on Terra with, some assassins who are like, oh hey, where are your buddies? We're gonna take you to the king and he needs you to help our planet. Totally nothing devious happening at all.
Nothing at all.
Nope.
And I'm still sick, so sorry for the coughing.
Answer questions honestly. Oh boy, it will change the way some of the dialogue is displayed.
Good to know.
Oh dear. Oh great, now we have a personality quiz. As well as influence my internal thoughts.
Huh.
Ha!
Okay.
Well, this first one is self-explanatory. Are you a boy or are you a girl? Please just humor me and play along for now.
Well, with a name like David Tennant, you're
Right.
kind of a dude.
And a good-looking one at that. Oh! Go on!
Come on.
Fresh. Starting with the obvious, I guess. He's getting pissy with Conrad.
Mm-hmm.
A large corporation wants to hire you. Do you prefer a leading role or not? An Endymion or a Conrad, you could say. He's a fucking... Okay. I did take you for a leader after all. A savior shouldn't be anything but. But leadership is so restricting. You don't have a true freedom as a leader. Anyway, moving on.
Conrad's not wrong.
Let's see here. Do you consider yourself skeptical? Or are you easily trusting person? I think I know the answer to that one.
Skeptic.
Yeah. Wait, was I wrong? It wouldn't be the first time, Conrad. Hey, that's not nice. I thought I got a pretty good read on him. Right. You're about to go to war. Would you prefer to attack or defend? Oh, now we're digging a little deeper. He's slowly edging into Kujaville for some reason.
Uh-huh. Well, it doesn't help that we recently finished Final Fantasy IX, so...
Yeah. Remember, there are no wrong answers. We are simply defining you on paper. To that end, what position do you prefer? Leroy Jenkins! In other words, you'd rather be hostile. I like you more and more. Started to think you'd make a fine protege. Now, allowing us to move on, Conrad, shut the fuck up. Would you take one life to save many? That's kind of what we do every day. Do you think you'd be able to do it? Take a life for the greater good? Yeah, sure, why not? That's what I thought. Can't be the savior without getting dirty. Maybe we need a third assassin, Indy. I won't even humor the thought. We're destined for much greater things. Oh, they are destined for much greater things. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Alright. We're almost done, I promise. You're running late to your destination. The paths before you are as follows. There's a short but dangerous route, and a long but much safer route. If you take the long route, you may be late, but the short route may lead to your death. What route do you take? Well, I said Leroy Jenkins.
Yep.
So, that's what I'm talking about. A lot more interesting than this. Nothing is fun without a little risk. Conrad winks at me. Oh dear. Yes, but we have the savior with us. We can't risk their lives for expedience. Yeah, but if they are the savior, you'd think they could handle some trouble. They both stare at me. Are they expecting me to say something here? I shrug it off. Just one more question, I promise. Besides, we're almost at town. About time. Dots. Do you prefer the company of others, or do you prefer to be alone? I like having peoples. I let them know that I like the company of others. Glad to hear it. I was starting to think maybe you hated us. I know Endymion can get on people's nerves. That would be pretty lame, after all the trouble we went through. Conrad, I apologize for his words. Etiquette was not in his curriculum. However, fortunately, we have concluded, and not a moment too soon either. This town is just a few moments ahead. I know we can't take any detours, but we need to hand in these papers. We'll make a quick stop, and that's it. We should probably check on mail, too. That's true. Galen may have written. Endymion looks at me and sighs loudly. I guess you're in luck, Savior. You'll get to see the Wayfarer's Tavern. It's the hottest place to be on Terra. He's joking, of course. We just stay there sometimes. And we own one of their postal boxes. They serve drinks, too. Conrad likes that.
Of course he does.
But really, it's an immigration office. They just needed to spice it up a bit. True. Nobody likes mail and immigration. But everyone and their mum likes drinking. If you look ahead, you can see it. He points ahead, and I see he's right. A small town is coming into view. A bar that doubles as an immigration office. It sounds weird, but so does everything else as of late. At least we can take care of the two matters at once. Handing in my papers and checking their mail. Then maybe, just maybe, I can meet their king. He would definitely have the answers I seek. Let me put in this change of address form and get myself a rum runner. All right. Back on Earth, deep into the night of Clace's death. We're in somebody's office. I'm assuming Jade.
Maybe. Nope.
Hi!
Hello.
Hello, dragon scientist. What? I don't even know what voice to give you.
Maybe something a little slithery.
I must admit, it seems rather suspicious.
That's too creepy.
But these midnight deaths, I never believed in them to begin with. Or rather, they were supernatural. The media loves to romanticize things.
He has a heart on his chest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure many people die at midnight daily, but to affect one of my own idols, mere days before the debut of their tour, no, it has to be a coincidence, I'm sure.
Who the fuck? God damn it. I don't know, Singe. Sir.
Singe is fine. We're closer than that, Rocker.
All right. Social media exploded at Clace's death. Good luck playing it off as a hoax. The body bag was even on national TV. I'm not sure how we'll spin this exactly, but fans are starting to fill in the cracks. There's talk about being a crazed fan. The work of a stalker, they say. So are these the groupies?
It can't be. I've seen stalkers before. They're much more erratic, not
Or-
calculated.
Could be the backup guitarist.
Yeah, it's probably part of the band.
This has the workings of a serial killer. If it was murder at all, a stalker wants to possess, not destroy.
So their end goal was Clace's murder?
Absolutely not. That's self-centered. We must presume the killer will still act. A serial killer doesn't just stop.
Not usually, no, unless either they get incarcerated, killed themselves, or deathly ill.
I had hoped this was an isolated incident, but the MO matches the midnight deaths,
I've watched way too many Criminal Minds episodes.
right down to the method of murder.
It seems their goals become more grandiose. If they aren't done, then who's next?
That's what chills me the most. A larger target than a pop idol?
What's wrong?
I talked to Jade earlier about these deaths.
She mentioned they were all like suicides.
At least half of them looked that way. There was another half that was murder. No confusion there, gunshots and all. I was told that Clace died of asphyxiation. There's no sign of a struggle.
Do you mean?
Absolutely not. There was no evidence left behind. If he took his own life, there would be. You can't kill yourself, then clean up. I'm very certain Clace was murdered. But it's these midnight deaths I doubt. Are we facing a serial killer? Or is the media just making things up? These could be completely isolated deaths. Time of death being the same isn't that odd.
I guess that's true, but it's not like that. It's not just that. It's time of death and method of death. A suicide with no evidence isn't suicide. So there are two groups then? The mysterious suicides and the murders? But I'm willing to bet they're both murders. You seem to have figured out a lot. I thought they'd keep Clace under wraps.
I had to pull a lot of strings. But I'm glad you figured it out, Raka. There aren't two groups. There's only one. This is assuming one major thing, of course. That we're dealing with a single culprit. And these aren't isolated in nature.
So a murder covered up as a suicide, huh?
Not very well either, it would seem. If they wanted it to look like a suicide, why would they take the weapon with them? If Clace was found with a rope around him, none of us would be doubting this at all. But this is the same throughout all cases. I believe the police are jumping the gun. There's nothing that labels these suicides, especially in the light of one major fact. All of the victims were mentally fit. If we're dealing with a killer here, there's no way they're trying to trick us. They want us to know these aren't suicides. It's the police that are in the wrong. Or perhaps they're being manipulated. Thinking about this gives me a headache. Man, I wish I was in bed right now. I'm sorry for robbing you of sleep. I just didn't want to handle this alone.
It's not a problem. Jade and Daz are outside as well. I'll stay as long as you need.
Would you mind letting Jade in? We need to discuss press matters. We'll need to make a statement tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Singe is the PR guy.
Is he?
Yeah, they mentioned that. Rook mentioned him earlier.
Oh, I missed it.
Absolutely.
And Daz is here, you said? Please stay with her in the limo. And tell her what I plan to do with her.
Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa! Hold your horses there. Roger.
I bet he's a fiery lover.
Uh-huh. Ba-da-bump.
Moments pass.
Hello.
Hello again, Singe. I feel like it's been a while.
Too long, I'm afraid. And not under the circumstances I'd prefer.
I don't remember the voice I gave her.
Irish.
Indeed. I always felt bad for Clace. How people were blaming him for the murders. Just because the deaths started when we... Sorry, I shouldn't get into superstition. I just never would have guessed. Clace's death would be what absolved him. The people can't blame a victim, I mean.
Indeed. And how do you think I feel? I didn't buy into these midnight deaths. I left him vulnerable. Open, even. I'm used to the media making up trends, even in completely unrelated things. I should have been more cautious of this. I should have assigned more guards to him. Perhaps this could have been avoided.
Oh, I think he's the manager.
Maybe. I don't think the guards would have helped, sir. Besides, have you worked on your alibi?
Alibi?
You were the last person to see him alive. And you two had a heated argument as well.
You should drop that line of thought, Jade. Veiled accusations only hurt you in the end.
The media will want to know. It's not me. That is what you asked me here for, right? So we can decide what to tell the press?
I suppose you're right. That, and the changes we'll need to make. The tour must go on as planned.
So I had a random thought before that Inumi, or Izumi, or whatever it was, the red one that was in the limo, I had a feeling they might replace Clace with him.
And it looks like we're right.
And it looks like I might be right.
The amount of refunds people will want. It makes me scared just thinking about it.
What is your job? You keep jumping jobs here.
That's a separate beast entirely. But first, how about we address the death? I think you need to be blunt. You shouldn't be anything less than honest. Tell them you don't know what happened. We're on the same page as everyone else. Let them know we're cooperating with police. It's important they feel in sync with us. We must not appear to hide facts from them. We'll make things public as the police does.
You're right. There isn't much else to do. But we still need to talk about the tour.
Indeed. And it's where we have control. I know what you plan to do with Daz. Rocker told me as we crossed paths just now. We shouldn't change topic just yet, though.
Oh, this Daz person is going to be the stand-in. What the fuck is Inumi's job?
Remember the two groups of deaths? The groups of murders and of suicides? I figured out something shocking tonight. The culprit for the group of murders? They were found. A week ago, Singe.
What?
And here's where it gets more bizarre. They have a watertight alibi. It excuses them fully from the suicides. They were a copycat killer. And they've admitted this openly. The true culprit is still at large.
I see.
But the police are still in the wrong. The suicides are not suicides at all. At least conflicting MOs aren't an issue. We only have to focus on the suicides for now.
Does this make it easier on us?
Unfortunately not. There's just too much missing here. No suicide note, no evidence, along with the victims being mentally fit. If it was suicide, there would be evidence at the crime scene. Instead, we have almost nothing at all. There was someone on the news last week. They said they survived the midnight deaths. Unfortunately, this was all a ruse. They just wanted 10 minutes of fame. So everything we went on before is gone. We're really back to square one here. The true culprit must be an expert. They can tamper with the crime scenes. They can leave no shred of evidence behind. Just who could it be?
It's likely a cop. Someone who's been trained in these things.
It's possible. I have a theory, though. Something a little bit more bizarre than most.
I don't have time for quantum mechanics.
Oh, come on.
There has to be a logical reason for this. The murder started as our tour arrived. The killer must have a police background. Dots. Jade.
Yes?
Bring me Clace's security guard. I'll need to speak with him immediately.
You mean...
Yes. At this point, it's very logical. Our own hired guard could be the killer. I doubt it. That's too obvious. Meanwhile, in the privacy of the limo... I'm guessing Clace and Inumi. Oh, no, it's this guy. Hey, Daz. Ho! Hi! She's shocked back into coherence.
Sorry, I was a world away there.
That's fine. I mean, given what happened and all.
Part of me is worried. And part of me hates that I am. I'm not worried for Clace, though. And not even for those around him. I care more about our own careers. Who will play guitar for? Or who will you play guitar for? Who will I sing and dance alongside?
Oh, she was a co-star.
Forgive my foolishness. I should never have said that.
Dots. There's no need to apologize. I thought the same things. A death is absolute. It can't be changed. What happens to us, however, well, it's malleable. Worry is normal. Perhaps it's also partly denial. One of the steps we go through in grief.
Yeah, we can justify it that way. But at the end of the day, I'm scared. I've never seen Sin show any emotion. Idols come and go in this business. He just adapts, without any hesitation. I don't want to be like that. Emotion is what makes us truly alive. I bet they're talking about the tour. They'll probably just address the press, and then forget Clace even existed. I want to feel sad, but can't. Is there something wrong with me? Am I becoming like Singe and Jade?
They're in a fast-paced business, Daz. They need to roll with the punches like this. You and I have time to adapt, but they'll be in the spotlight pronto. And they were talking about the tour. I know what's going to happen to us. That's why I'm not as worried anymore. Maybe if I tell you, you'll understand. Then maybe you can put this worry aside, too.
Really?
Yeah. Singe is engaging in damage control. He needs to minimize any refund requests, so the tour's opening night will change. Instead, it'll be a vigil for Clace. Something all of his fans would attend. He's definitely playing to their grief. But it's a good way to retain the audience. It's a little fucked up, actually.
And yet it happens all the time. That's extremely cold.
It's extremely Singe, isn't it? The show must go on, he said.
I suppose. So, a vigil then. What's going to happen there?
Did I accidentally skip something that was weird? Have you heard the story of Japan's birth?
Excuse me? Is that even relevant right now?
If you'll listen, I'd like to think so.
Very well.
Before the universe, there was nothing. A huddled mass of chaos and total stillness. It lay there forever, not moving an inch. Though one day it flinched. It started to move like a cloud. Soon after that, like a hurricane. It moved and moved. Some chaos rose to the top. The light. This created heaven, or Tagamagahara. But some of the chaos was dark in nature. It wasn't worthy of ascending to heaven, so it stayed at the bottom, becoming earth. A kami was born between the light and the dark, a god known as Ami no Mina Kanusha blah blah blah.
Kanushi.
Okay. Or the All-Father of the originating hub.
I'm sorry, I have to stop you there. I don't buy into this religion stuff.
What is that, Shintoism, I'm guessing? Who said anything about religion? I'm merely spouting myth.
Are those not one and the same?
That's my outlook half the time. Please allow me to continue. A large rainbow connected heaven to earth. It acted as a bridge between the worlds. Ami no Ukihashi, it was called, or floating bridge of heaven. Two more gods came into being at this point. Their names were Izanagi and Izanami. Earth was still a puddled mess of nothing. Izanagi and Izanami stood on the bridge. They looked down at this nothing in awe. Izanagi was gifted a spear from
Kanushi.
I have trouble with names like
Mina
that.
Kanushi.
He thrust his spear into the dark puddle. Upon pulling it out, it started dripping. These drops stayed on the surface. They formed the islands of Japan. The first landmass on Earth was born. They were tasked with descending the bridge. They went down and finished creating Earth. Izanagi engaged in a purification ritual. He washed away all of his impure aspects, and he used them to aid in the creation. Our sun and moon, created by the impurities in his eyes, and storms were born from those in his nose. All of his impurities were used. After that, we were born, with a world to call our own.
That's awfully convenient. We're created from impure aspects of God. Sounds like a tragedy if you ask me. How does this relate to the tour, or us?
I'm about to get to that. Singe is altering the entire tour. It'll be a retelling of this story. The set list will symbolize this creation, and souls will be offered to heaven. Through that rainbow bridge, of course. Not just Claces, but all the victims.
Elaborate. I didn't think Singe would do that much. Now I feel bad for assuming what I did.
It's okay. You didn't know?
So, we will perform covers then? Of Clace's hits or other relevant songs?
You got it. But then you come in. The tour will end with a special surprise.
Special surprise?
Yes, an announcement from you. You'll be taking over the world tour. You'll be headlining, Daz. You'll perform to a sold-out crowd. It'll be your turn in the spotlight. You'll finally become something more.
Something more, huh?
Yeah. We'll be saying goodbye to Clace and welcoming a new idol to the world.
I suppose I should be honored.
I will serve as your guitarist. You have my complete loyalty, Daz.
Thanks.
But I'm not sure about Shock. Him and Clace are childhood friends. He may take this harder than any of us.
Right.
I'm assuming Shock's like the drummer or something.
Well, if you'll excuse me. This is overwhelming. I need fresh air.
You need a shirt.
Yeah.
Of course. I guess I should join her. It's getting stuffy in here. A shuffling sounds from the front seat. Oh, bro is dead. Oh shit, Inumi didn't even know.
Poor kid.
Oh, poor baby. Yeah, save the game.
All right.
Yay! That's the end of this episode. I guess we'll be picking up with Noone. I gotta get that voice back because I decided he was going to be flamboyantly, like just super flamboyantly gay. I'm gonna have to manage that voice again. Oh dear.
Whereas
Anyway,
I think he looks more emo than anything else.
not with his facial expression, not with purple eyes, and not with wearing fishnet.
That's totally emo.
The way he's
The
wearing
stripes and the fishnet
But it's
and the hair.
He's wearing it midriff, though.
You obviously did not hang out with the emo crowds that I did.
All of my emo crowds were baggy clothes. Like, full body coverage baggy clothes.
Yeah, no.
Oh well. Till next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.